Hello everyone, you're watching the Mindmaps. Today we're going to talk about various international environmental conventions which are very important for various exams. Now if you are new to this channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon. So we will discuss about UNCED, CBD, Ramsar Convention and CITES, traffic plus Montreal Protocol, and CMS, CAWT, ITTO, Global Tiger Forum, IUCN, Stockholm Convention, let's add some more, Basel Convention, UNCCD. Let's add some of the extras here. These are Kigali Agreement, Rotterdam Convention, International Whaling Commission. Now let's get started with UNCED. Okay, the UNCED stands for United Nations Conference on Environment and Development. It is also known as the Earth Summit or the Rio Conference. It was held in June 1992, Brazil, Rio de Janeiro. Okay, most of this is about development issues and sustainability. It had 5 major agreements, out of which the Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Convention on Biological Diversity were the binding one, and the rest of the 3 is non-binding for the parties. It also has its contribution for United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development 2012, which is also known as Rio Earth Summit 2012 or Rio Plus 20, and has contribution for Kyoto Protocol and Paris Agreement 2. CBD stands for Convention on Biological Diversity. It had 3 major objectives, which are conservation of biodiversity, sustainable use of components, and fair and equitable share of genetic resources. It was held in 1992 and it had most of its members from United Nations apart from USA and European Union. Now let's talk about the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. The Convention on Wetlands is an intergovernmental treaty adopted on 2nd February 1971 in the Iranian city of Ramsar. It is the first of the modern global intergovernmental treaties on the conservation and sustainable use of natural resources. Some NGOs have been associated with the treaty since the beginning. Some of them are BirdLife International, IUCN, International Water Management Institution, Wetland International, Worldwide Fund for Nature or WWF. It is also related to Montreux Record, which is the list of Ramsar sites that are challenged by human activities. Now let's talk about CITES. It stands for the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. It was signed in 1963 but came into force in 1975. It is basically here to protect endangered plants and animals from illegal trading. It also releases appendices from 1 to 3 in order to ban illegal trading of endangered plant and animals. Next is Montreal Protocol. The Montreal Protocol is an international treaty designed to protect the ozone layer by phasing out the production of numerous substances that are responsible for ozone depletion. It was agreed on 16th September 1987, entered into force on 1st January 1989. Traffic is a leading non-governmental organization working on wildlife trade in the context of both biodiversity conservation and sustainable development. It is a joint program of World Wildlife Fund and International Union for Conservation of Nature. It was started in 1979 and has its headquarters in Cambridge, United Kingdom. Next is ITTO. ITTO stands for International Tropical Timber Organization. It has its headquarters in Japan, Yokohama. It was started in 1986. It promotes tropical forest conservation and sustainable utilization of forest and its management. It is also sponsored by UNCTAD, or United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. It is related to Timber Trade Agreement. Next is Conservation on Migratory Species, also known as Bonn Convention. It is to conserve migratory species which can be terrestrial, aquatic, or avian. It was started in 1979 and came into force from 1983 and has 129 members. It is the only UN organization to promote conservation of migratory species. Next we have here is Global Tiger Forum, started in 1993, and it is the only intergovernmental organization to protect the tiger. Then we have CAWT, or Coalition Against Wildlife Trafficking, promotes conservation of wildlife and natural resources. It was started in 2005. The next one is IUCN. IUCN stands for International Union for Conservation of Nature. It was started in 1948. The headquarters is in Gland, Switzerland. Its mission is to influence and encourage and assist societies throughout the world to conserve nature, to ensure that any use of natural resources is equitable and ecologically sustainable. It also publishes Red Data Book from 1964 for threatened species of plants and animals. The next one is Stockholm Convention. Stockholm Convention is about persistent organic pollutants, or POP. It was held at Stockholm, Sweden on 2001. It is about carbon-based organic substances which are responsible for bioaccumulation. For example, aldrin, DDT, chloroden. The next one is Kigali Agreement. Kigali Agreement is an amendment of Montreal Protocol held at Kigali, Rwanda, an African country, in 2016. As per the agreement, these countries are expected to reduce the manufacture and use of hydrofluorocarbon, or HFC, by 80 to 85% from their respective baseline till 2045. The agreement is legally binding for the signatory members. It also targets to reduce the global temperature up to 0.5 degrees by the year 2100. The next one is Rotterdam Convention. Rotterdam is a city at Holland. Rotterdam Convention is about shared responsibility for hazardous chemicals, for example, pesticides, nuclear waste, etc. It was agreed on 1998 and was effective from 2004. The next one is International Whaling Commission or IWC. It was started in 1946. The headquarters is at Impington, United Kingdom. It was formed by International Convention for the Regulation of Whaling. It is to save the whales from commercial whaling or hunting. Some countries like Japan, Canada have not signed this treaty. The next one is UNCCD or United Nations Convention to Combat Desertification. It was started in 1994 and is effective from 1996. It has 197 members. UNCCD members aim for long-term strategies to combat droughts and desertification at many developing countries. The last one is Basel Convention. It was agreed on 1992 at Basel, Switzerland, to control the movement of hazardous waste. It is not legally binding. Some of the countries like US, Canada, Japan are not a signatory. India is one of the signatory members. So this is it. Hope you liked the mind maps. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next mind map.